Now, look, since we've made this little speaker's corner here, and we have a microphone, I'm going to do an open mic now. So anyone who'd like to come up and address the crowd, feel free. Come on.
I'm John Lascelles. I'm a socialist. I'm also a Christian. Where is the church? Where are our church leaders? There are undoubtedly Christian people taking part in the marches and the protests, but where are the voices of our church leaders? Didn't Jesus say, let the children come to me, for such is the kingdom of God? He didn't say bomb them, maim them, bury them under the rubble, let them have operations without any anaesthetic. Where are our church leaders? Where are their voices? I think Archbishop of Canterbury's New Year message, of all things, was from RAF Bryce Norton as an example to be followed of service. What are the RAF doing now? Assisting Israel, bombing Yemen. Could he not have chosen the brave doctors and nurses who stuck by their posts in Gaza, knowing that their own lives are likely to be ended, and weren't prepared to desert their patients? Isn't that a better example of Christian belief and practice, regardless of their faith? But no, he chose to praise the RAF. Our armed forces are just obey orders without question. Now is the time for everybody, of all faiths and none, to come together, I think, and to stand up for what is right in this world. I appreciate having time to speak.
Anybody else? Come on, don't be shy. You're among friends. Oh, we quite like that. Who wants the boy who can incite a riot? Come on. Come on.
I'm not going to say anything crazy, but basically, like, look at Capitol Hill riots in America. No one was armed. Everyone got in there. They got the job done. That's all I'm saying.
I wish they had got the job done. Anybody like to come up and address the crowds? You know, we get told who our leaders are, and they're wheeled out in front of us, and most of us never elected any of them or chose any of them. We're told this is your leadership, and we have to listen to them mouth platitudes at us and then go away again. Here is your chance to say what you wish they would say.
My name is Amy Butlin. I'm from the Committee to Defend Julian Assange. We are a grassroots group operating for many years. We are here in support of Julian Assange. We have heard a lot about press freedom today, and we have heard a great number of wonderful speakers earlier. But we mustn't forget that Julian Assange is a human being like you and like me. No different.
Best human being in the world.
He raised himself with his work and challenged powerful interests. And he has experienced the backlash. So I want to say many thanks to people who have come here today to stand in solidarity with the WikiLeaks publisher Julian Assange and to commit themselves to follow through, no matter what the outcome tomorrow might be, to continue supporting in this country and internationally the freedom of Julian Assange. So I'll welcome everyone to chant, "Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! There's only one decision! No extradition! There's only one decision!
Free tomorrow! Free!
Any more for any more? The mic is still open.
So hello, I've come from Birmingham today, as you can probably tell from this slightly embarrassing hat. Anyway, what I'd like to say, is just that the freedom of Julian Assange is dependent on the power of the people. The power of the people is what will free Julian Assange. We can't rely on these corrupt courts to free Julian Assange. They will only free him if they're put under so much pressure that it is politically untenable for them to send him to the United States. We can't rely on the corrupt Tory party who have done this you know, Priti Patel signing the extradition order. We cannot rely on them. But neither can we rely on the corrupt Labour Party and Keir Starmer. Because Keir Starmer and his Crown Prosecution Service were involved in the whole Sweden, telling Sweden not to get cold feet over this rape investigation that the Swedish police were thinking about dropping. So it's dependent on us to get Julian Assange out, not anyone else. Thank you. I believe that, unfortunately, many institutions have failed Julian Assange, including institutions that should be standing up for him, like trade unions, unfortunately. So it's dependent on us as individuals to stand up and take back the power and say, we demand Julian Assange be freed now. Thank you.
Very well put. I think you spoke for everybody there. Any more? Mic is still open. Come on, I can see. There's loads of people in the crowd who are like thinking about it. Oh, I'd really quite like to do that. Come on.
It's a very small point, and in a way it might be a bit irrelevant, but I watched some podcasts on YouTube, and there's some gangster podcasts. I didn't even like the people, but what they were talking about was Epstein and the island in which the prison, the maximum security prison in which Epstein was suicide, and this is a bit. I'm not trying to freak anyone out, but they were saying the same things about Epstein that Stella was saying about Epstein, and this is completely unrelated. So there's 4 different sources saying about Epstein, not committing suicide. There was no way he did this. So there probably is a very likely threat to Julian Assange's life. They're there, and so yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say is just that reality check thing.
The USA has made it very clear that Julian's death is what they're after. One way or another. They're torturing him to death here. They'd be quite happy if he dies in a British prison and they don't have to go through the process of a sham trial over there before they put him into solitary and slowly kill him off there. They made it very clear that's what they want. If they can't get the death penalty in some way or other, they just do it slowly by squeezing. They've made that clear. And the CIA plot was just another way of achieving the same end. They don't mind how many of their own rules they tear up to achieve this end. And I think there's a really important lesson in there for us, isn't there? We were brought up to believe in and respect and have reverence for the state, its organizations, that they're there to protect us, that the justice system and the legal system and the police and the courts, they're all there for our benefit, to take care of us, and that if you follow the rules, nothing bad will ever happen to you. If we all follow the rules, society will work really nicely. It turns out we were the Muppets. The rules are for the little people. The ruling class tramples on its own rules every single day. We see that in the way it conducts its wars. We see that in the way it controls the media. We see that in the persecution, perfectly illustrated in the way they manipulate the courts and the prisons to murder Julian Assange in slow motion. We see it every single day. They are tearing up, spitting on, trampling on their own rules, the rules they brought us up to revere and respect and pay total service towards. They don't respect their own rules at all. The rules are just there to keep us in order. And once we understand that, we start to understand the reality of the system we live in. It's a class system where the mass of the people work to keep a tiny number of people rich. And the rich use their riches to control the machinery of the state, which keeps us in order. And our interests and their interests are not the same. And there is no one set of rules. There's one rule for them, and there's no one rule for us, and no rules for them. Right? And that's what we are learning. And these are the understandings, the learnings we need to be taking to the wider public, because the journalists who should be reporting on this and educating the people with this information are not doing it. Why? Because they're part of the same state machinery that's in there today. They're part of the same machinery of control the same machinery that's there to keep the rich in power and the poor down and under control. So we can't rely on mainstream media. We can't rely on politicians. There's no parliamentarian that you can take a petition to. There's no debate that can be had, you know, in the House of Commons or the House of Lords that's going to fix these problems for us, you know. All of it, these are different wings of the same machinery. A machinery of coercion, a machinery of class rule, the rich over the poor.
Hi to you. Julian Assange is journalist. How one journalist can be in jail? How? How? In jail should be who? Who put it in? Who sent the people to kill 1 million Iraqis? Americans and English soldiers killed there. For what? For who? For which English person was killed those people? For what? They lost their life. Why the Iraqis lost their life? This man, this journalist, he told the truth. This is my brother, your son, everything is him. Everything. How a journalist can be. The truth. How can be in prison? The truth. The truth is the truth. This is the truth. For me, this is Jesus Christ of our century. Jesus Christ of our century is still alive. He told the world the truth. This is the truth. Free Julian Assange. Free. Free Julian Assange.
You know, that passion reminds us of the real crimes, the real criminals. You're absolutely right, comrade. It was Julian who helped to wake people up to the genocidal behavior of British and US imperialism around the world, and in the Middle East especially. Julian has helped to make people see what they didn't want to see. I remember talking to people at the beginning of the Iraq War saying it's illegal, it's barbaric, shouldn't be allowed to happen. They had been brainwashed by the propaganda into believing that we had good reasons for targeting the evil monster Saddam Hussein. And of course, the work of Julian and other journalists helped us to see that we'd been lied to from start to finish about why we'd gone to war, and that our rulers knew they were lying to us before they launched the war. All of this was revealed through that process. Can I hand this mic to anybody else before we close off today? We're warming up now.
I want to do a quick impression. See if you can guess who it is. Back when he was running for election, he used to talk like this. He's got small hands, by the way. I love WikiLeaks, exposing the truth about corrupt Hillary Clinton. I love WikiLeaks. And then when he finally came to power, he sounded like this. I don't really know anything about WikiLeaks. Don't really know anything about it. Who is it? Who am I talking about? Sadly, sometimes you get hope in somebody and then get to power. Where's that hope gone? It's nowhere. We're looking for someone that will be true to their word, that's saying all the right things when they're up for election and then maintains it once they get in power. I think we nearly had it. I think we were a few thousand votes away from that when Jeremy Corbyn was that close to being the Prime Minister. It didn't happen. So we're looking. Maybe someone is out there. But we know that the man who exposed the truth is in prison, and we're all here to stand with him. Thank you for listening to my terrible impressions.
Hello. As you can probably tell, I didn't dress for the occasion. That's because I've travelled for about 13 hours to be here. Wherever I travel, I have to travel with this stuff. And I'm glad that you give me a cheer for that. I was quite disappointed there wasn't more of a cheer for the girl from Birmingham, because although her journey was probably nowhere near as arduous as mine, and that's an understatement, she made some very good points, and I found it very disheartening that there was only several people that seemed to think that they were significant. I heard the guy with his passion and I can be really passionate. A lot of people confuse volume with substance and style with content. America was orchestrated by Britain. Israel was orchestrated by Britain. The lines of division in Africa were orchestrated by Britain. The Kashmir, India, Pakistan were enshrined by Britain. Israel was created by Britain. Israel sent warships, Britain sent warships to Israel, and I hear people going, oh, America are backing up the Israelis. Britain was sending warships as well, and we have a lot less resources. And so whilst there are billions and billions and billions of pounds going to Ukraine or going to proxy wars in various different parts of North Africa, whilst the only functioning part of the UK economy is warmongering, whilst we've been selling hundreds of billions of pounds worth of missiles and bombs and ammunition to the Arabs that have been fighting a proxy war in Yemen for years, this is nothing new. What's been going on in Yemen has been going on for 10 years. You're only hearing about it now. And people are only hearing about these things now because you all need to look in the mirror. It's only affecting you now. Because if I can't be honest with myself, how can I be honest with you? And if you can't be honest about not trying to win an election and handing over a Tory majority and having a Knight of the Realm that was chief of the Crown Persecution Service, which is the real people responsible for Julian's plight, then, you know, it doesn't matter what colour your flag is, you're still part of the same system. And here's a final thought, the left wing and the right wing belong to the same imperial eagle. Peace.
Thank you, love. This is how you definitely know it's not a controlled open mic. We're going to have to close up now. We've got to take ourselves off. But just a last thought. Oh, yes, I'm going to bring the poetry man in. Hang on. I just wanted to respond to the last point that... What was your name, young man? Sorry. Odin? Odin. That our friend here made. About the left and the right. Is that if you're looking in parliamentary terms, he's absolutely right. Left, right, in the middle, blue, green, red, they are all the same. As far as bourgeois politics, capitalist parties are concerned, they serve British imperialism first. Their job is to pull the wool over your eyes, present you with a fake choice, a marketing brand of politician and political party to suit your way of looking at the world and make you feel like you're engaged in some real kind of choice and some real kind of process when you go at election time to put your cross in the piece of paper. But the fact is, Labour, Lib Dem, Green, Plaid Cymru, SNP, Tories, BNP, Reform, exactly the same, all of them. Their loyalty is to this system. And whoever look at that, it came back. In that case, I'm going to give you the poetry man. It's going to die pretty soon. Sorry.
The poetry man. Hello, everybody. It's such an honor to be here amongst you, you fellow activists and freedom fighters. Can you hear me? My conscience, are you here? I sense my own hypocrisy, myself destroyed by fear. The fear of what to think and tell, of living in a prison cell, of cognitively dissonance behind the bars of spineless stance. Oh my, the fear. Accept the fake democracy, the rules-based order industry of lies and scorn and othering, the corporate big brothering, the fear of life in coma, all dressed up with brave new soma in the cup that brings me my reality of Guardian, Times, and Swedish state TV are telling me opinions are treason, facts are foreign lies, profit over reason. You must not believe your eyes. The fear
has bruised my soul within, 'cause no one wants to end like him. So let's pretend we're free and fine. Who cares about the Nord Stream pipeline? Who cares we're mental shiftless cattle, lost in barren soil to battle algorithmic anesthetics, keep ourselves from love and ethics. But soon I feel I will break through. My conscience shall my fear undo. I set my sorry self aside. To be alive is not to hide. I'll be the eyes of Julian and see the world as what it is. I'll be the ears of Julian and hear what words the others miss. I'll be the mouth of Julian and eat what goes against the grain. I'll be the nose of Julian, the smell of Danish rot obtain. I'll be the skin of Julian and never let it bleed for war. I'll be the mind of Julian, break free from fear of what's in store. No more, I cannot stay afraid, crying for my coward brain. Come on, he sits in fucking jail, has been for more than 1 decade. He changed the game with leaks to read how power runs and feeds on greed. He gives his life for truth and peace. If we don't fight, we'll never cease capitulating for their power, making new laws by the hour. They torture him and kill what's true in life. They spit on human dignity, his children and his wife. Canaries are tweeting, screaming, stop this digitally dreaming death dystopia, fake reality, this Yankee genocidal spree, killing souls and Palestinians, colonizing our opinions, censorships which cross the oceans, feeding from the worst emotions. Fuck this feckless martyrdom. It's time for us to bring him home. Their laws and lies are fake as news. A cry of victory will cruise. The world, however, court will judge. Whatever happens, we won't budge. The Schwabian EU NATO clowns are up for terror charge. Free press, free speech, free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange.
Hello. Well, fantastic today to be here. And I say, free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Okay, now Julian Assange is our Gaza Strip of press freedom. He symbolises your right to know, your right to speak. And in this, the age of the end of all freedoms, if they get away with it, he is a beacon of hope. So please, free Julian Assange. And we are all Julian Assange. And we're all Palestinians now. We are all these things. We've got to fight back on all fronts for freedom of speech, the right to know, medical freedom over our bodies. We've got to oppose all the mad things being imposed on us by the World Economic Forum. And I am going to be launching a Stop the War on Truth, Stop the War on Freedom, Stop the War on the motor car, Stop the War on our bodily autonomy, and Stop the War on the right to know, because I'll be standing as a London Mayor candidate against Sadiq Khan, who's done nothing at all about Julian Assange when he should be parading the world defending the right to freedom.
Guys, it's actually been really fun here this afternoon. I feel like it's been more like a social than a rally, and a chance to hear from other people as well as listen to the sound of our own voices. An actual dialogue. which is quite refreshing after all of the rallies you go to where you just listen to the great and the good tell you the same thing they've been telling you for years. Empty platitudes. So thank you very much for listening to us and letting us talk to you. We hope to be back with you again soon. But in the meantime, let's keep in our hearts the idea that it won't be long. If we get ourselves organised, the time will come when we turn the tables and we put the criminals in the dock and free all of our political prisoners. Tony Blair is #1 on my list. I don't know about you. When it comes to the people I want to see on a dock, but unfortunately it's not going to be in the Royal Courts of Justice. It's going to be in a People's Court somewhere with quick justice delivered.